Atlanta rematch features Atlanta blowing a 23-0 lead and giving that playoff game away. Vancouver ending up getting the win. Well, Kendra Hall was a part of that game. She caught the last pass of that game for Atlanta, the last pass of Atlanta's season as they tried to come back and win that one. She signed with Vancouver in the offseason to join her husband, Nate Hall, who is also on Vancouver, and me and Mike had a chance to sit down with Kendra earlier this week. Take a look. And we're here with Kendra Hall, wide receiver for the Vancouver Legion, here in the center of myself and Mike. How you doing, Kendra?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing good.
We're awesome. We are awesome. So I have to ask, Kendra, last season you played opposite your husband, Nate Hall, who played for Vancouver. You played for Atlanta.
Yes.
Now the two teams are playing each other later today, and you and Nate had some good old-fashioned back and forth on podcasts, and just good smack talking within the league. But now you're playing with your husband, so how does that feel? Do you wish it was back to the way it was, or does it feel good?
So I'm going to be honest, it really hasn't changed. It's not more of like the smack of we're on different teams. It's more of the smack of my player's better than yours. So we will compete even though we're still on the same team. We're individually competing, so it hasn't even changed.
Great. And yeah, Kendra, as Cam mentioned, you're on the same team with Nate, and Vancouver had huge shoes to fill at the wide receiver position. What was the final deciding factor of you joining Vancouver?
Like I told Andy when we first started talking, I need to find where I belong. I need to dip my toes into different places and try to figure out where I should be sitting. So that's why I think that was the deciding factor, that I was getting another opportunity to play for another team and try to figure out where I belonged.
Right. And as we fast forward to later today, huge matchup, probably one of the bigger matchups on the schedule today. You returning to Atlanta after they brought you in kind of midway through the season last season. You made some big plays for them last season. How does it feel about going up against your old team?
It's bittersweet. I told them, I've reached out to them a few times since I've joined Vancouver, and AJ's podcast, we had talked about the game. And so it's bittersweet. It's kind of sad and happy and all at the same time, but I'm neutral with that game. Yeah, I want to win, but I'm okay if any of them win.
I'd be remiss if we didn't mention that you were taking over for the late Rich Pratchard over there in Vancouver, and that's not an easy task for anyone to take over. You've probably been asked this question maybe 2 or 3 times, but does that make this season maybe any more special or any more important to you?
I feel like it makes it special and important. I didn't know Rich in a personal level, but obviously my husband was in the locker room with them, and I could see how they were bonded as a family. I am going to be honest, at first, when I was asked to fill that position, I was kind of like, I don't know if I can do that. But I had to think about it. And Andy reminds me on a daily basis that I'm an individual person. It's not about the position, but it's about who you are. Because I just, like you said, it's big shoes to fill. And so I was like, I don't even know if I can fill those shoes where it was left. But I think it's more special. I had that opportunity to push his legacy on as my individual, to just show that he was special.
There's plenty of women in this league, Kendra. You got Ashley Jackson, and you've got Rochelle Colston, and a lot of people in prominent positions as well. And the list goes on and on. We're up to about 20 in the league,
Wow.
but that's not the norm, right? That means that we have over 500 men in the league. So the women are still the minority in that sense, but it's important that the SFL, let the audience understand that this is a girls' game too. I mean, it's a chance to kind of level that playing field. What does it feel like, kind of not necessarily being in a man's world of football, but being wanting to get more women involved and bonding with the other women in the league, because I know that you guys have hit it off in various ways sometimes.
Yes. So being the minority, for say, of being a woman, I don't think it has changed my views or perspectives. We're all on the team, obviously the men players on the field, but it's not those players who define you, it's who you are individually. And so we have bonded so much. Ashley will tell you I bug her all the time to make sure, see how she's doing, how's her dad doing, just to talk. And we've had where we've been on phone calls for hours just talking. And so we all have to stick together because, like you said, it's a division full of men. So you've got to find where you can kind of fit in more with what we feel, because our brains work differently than men's do.
No.
So if I you invent, you're going to look at me like, no. So
well,
gotta have that look.
It's great to have you here and all the women here too, and obviously we want to reach out to more of them and show them that the SFL is a place where everybody can play and have a good time. And you killed it last week. And before we go, I'd be remiss if you've brought it up a couple times about talking about the individual, who you are. Kendra, who are you? How do you answer that question just as an individual?
I would feel like I'm an individual. I'm a very independent individual. I think my husband will tell you that. But I'm also that individual that I wear my heart on my sleeve like everyone else does. My husband will tell you I put everyone else first before my needs, just because I'm that caring individual that wants to help everyone, even though I can try to help and it's impossible, but I will continue to try until someone says, okay, you're done, walk away, let's go. And so I'm that type of individual where I reach out to everyone and make sure everyone's okay, because they need that person.
Kendra Hall, wide receiver of the Vancouver Legions, takes on her former team later today, the Atlanta Swarm. That's on the SFL Twitch channel. We'll have bonus coverage and live look-ins on that, as well as we show in full the championship rematch between Sioux Falls and Baltimore. Kendra, it was great. It's great having you here, and good luck later today.
Thank you.
Hey, good luck, Kendra.